terminate his training.
Nalate ako, tas tinanggal ako.
Because he missed the train.
That what
There needs to be another one. That was beautiful. There needs to be another one.
We're back. So, we've been away for a while, currently in Bangkok. And is it some police sirens?
Yeah, so our good mate Casual Chuck just released a new episode called Ultimate Soundbreak. And you know we got to support our mans right there. So yeah, let's just react to this. It's been a while since the SB19 reaction.
He uploaded this 9 days ago, so let's go.
when you hear the words pop music and the best boy band, who comes to mind?
BTS, so NSYNC.
What if I told you that the most overlooked boy group in our generation might be these guys?
The glow is real.
In the last 6 years, these guys turned a small Korean entertainment company into a company that produced the pop group ever.
Are you proud of SB19?
You don't accomplish that without making a few enemies.
K-pop. Ano para sila? K-pop pangit.
Some of them coming from unexpected places.
Pinoy ba daw? Parang may ginaya.
I've
But
seen some of
behind
these
the group
clips
are
for
five
sure.
driven men who were about to transform what was once a laughingstock genre in music into the fastest growing genre of the world.
Ever since we had this goal, and not just for us, but for the entire industry.
Feeling ko hindi pa natin nakukuha yung recognition na dapat para sa atin.
Between disbanding before they even debuted,
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
becoming industry outcasts and
Dang.
getting bashed
Oh, yeah,
by
I
their
remember
own
that.
countrymen.
Baka magkaroon tayo ng grupo na hindi naman makataasan ng tangos ng ilong. Para talagang original.
Oo.
The rise of SB19 may not be the greatest Filipino success story ever.
Maganda kasi yung revenge kasi talaga yung success na ipapakita mo sa mga hindi naniniwala.
Tama yan.
But it certainly is the most inspiring one.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
I'll tell you what, this looks super
HD.
Taiwanese.
This is super HD. I don't know how he did this.
Shout out to Chuck, the animators.
The production's crazy on
He
this.
told us,
Oi.
he actually told us behind the scenes he was working really, really hard on this. And it was taking them really long.
The remake. Here we go. Man, the glow up is real.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented.
You've definitely seen some
In
of this
2002,
before.
one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
History. Let's go.
Yeah, haven't we seen this?
With the
That
production.
member
The perfect
was
smile.
Jong Song Han.
Almost a
It
bit
all
invisible.
started when he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur. Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans thought that Songhan's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called Show BT
BT.
Entertainment.
What?
Today we know him
What was
as Tatang Robin.
Tatan Robin.
Fast forward to 2015. The fight of the century just happened. One Direction's Drag Me Down was all over the radio, and Big Bang was the biggest K-pop boy group,
Casual Chuck.
while P-pop has top one project. Chances are, you have never heard of them.
Nope.
But somewhere in
Casual Chuck's
Makati,
Productions.
Philippines, an audition was
Crazy
held.
today.
Tatang Robin was looking for young talents who would be part of the package of their service as an event organizers. Talents who can perform on their own but can also serve as backup dancers and singers to their
I don't
main
know why he
performers.
chose Philippines.
One of the main attractions of the SAT audition was if you're good enough, you might just debut as a member of Show BT's first ever P-pop group to undergo a Korean-style training. Filipinos don't get opportunities like that
Yeah,
so
why did he
often,
choose
so
Philippines?
hundreds of talents applied, but only 30 made it as trainees. They were initially called the Shobiti Musical Gala Team, but then later dubbed as Nara, which in Korean
Nara.
means country and also happens to be the national tree of the Philippines. If you're a fan who is deep into the P-pop scene, you would recognize some of the future P-pop stars, but one of the most notable ones is this guy.
Come on.
Oh, there he is.
Come
On the
on.
first day of training, one guy stood out because he was just alone standing awkwardly in the corner.
Noong una, ang weird niya po, nagsasalita mag-isa.
He was facing the wall and making hand gestures as if he was rapping in front of it.
Nakatayo siya sa gilid.
That's what geniuses do.
Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ito sa gilid?
That guy was John Pablo Nasser. He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also as a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. In training, he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to
I'm not
help
surprised.
provide for his family.
That's why I'm getting
He was
chills from
selected
this.
due to his
Really.
undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability.
Yeah.
Some of my sources even said that he had already written dozens of songs at this time. He's also a badass rapper and was
Oh, you
often
have it,
called
yeah.
a genius, but consistently
Yeah,
denied
exactly.
it because
That's what I
he
just said.
claimed to be just a hard worker.
Yep.
This made him the destined leader of the group. He was known as Sejin at the time, but
Sejin.
later would be known as Pablo.
Pablo.
Pablo's better.
From Kalaka, wasn't it?
30 trainees are a lot of trainees. It would take a very observant person with an eye for talent to notice Pablo in
Josh.
that corner. So who was that observant person with an eye for talent? Well, he was also a trainee. Stell
He looks so different.
Stell.
Stell, best. He looks so different.
He was only
Strawberry.
a kid when he started competing as a performer. As a dancer, he racked up win after win on a national level with his school crew and became their official choreographer, teaching crewmates 2 to 3 years older than him. He later joined a dance crew called Seon and went on to win international titles. Stell obviously worked so hard. Amidst his studies and competitions,
Was that Josh?
he also
Yeah,
worked
that's what
part-time
Seon.
as a McDonald's service crew and teaching dance to kids with special needs. There was a point that he worked too hard that he wound up in the hospital. His poor health caused him to lose his earnings and nearly his life. Fortunately,
Loving
he
these
was able
B-rolls.
to
The
recover.
stock footage go
This made
crazy.
him the
Chuck,
obvious choice to
Chuck
become the
using the
choreographer
stock
of the
footage
group.
go crazy,
But
mate.
little did they
Crazy.
know
People
that
are watching
dancing
this.
wasn't his only talent. As a kid, he joined the school choir
the
to
white
become
kid.
the
Oh.
only male soprano and only improved as he got older. He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his
Crazy. He
vocals
was
were
just a
just
dancer.
Crazy. Crazy voice.
out of this world.
I'm not sure about his
Unlike
top.
Pablo, Stell was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his closest friends also auditioned and made it as a trainee. This friend is nothing to be trifled with because having the worst upbringing among the others made him the strongest when it comes down to pure
Let's
guts
go.
and
Bias.
determination. Josh Cullen Santos.
Santos, come on.
He left home at the age of 16 and it was his decision. From growing up in a toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. I'm talking about getting poured candle wax all over their body. At an early age, he experienced what it felt like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. They got evicted from medium-sized apartments to increasingly smaller rooms.
Speaking
It
of
came to
Hong
a
Kong
point when his
apartments.
family had nothing to eat with rice but ketchup and salt.
Oh.
They had no permanent address.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I
Because of
remember
that,
What if
Josh
you
and
try
his
to bulk?
sister dropped out of school multiple times,
can't.
so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would even get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this, so he decided to leave to become independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant.
I remember
Using
this.
his own income, he took the alternative learning system to attain his high school degree. He initially had no background in performing. Not until he found Stell performing with his dance group called Seon. Josh became an instant fan, and when they connected, Stell became his mentor,
Why
which
could they
led to them
connect through a
becoming
tweet?
members, and they went on to
What
win
the?
numerous K-pop dance cover competitions all over
Singapore,
Asia.
Jakarta.
They even met BTS,
BTS,
during one
yeah.
of their winning runs in Korea.
That was ages ago.
So from champions to trainees, what else is in store for them?
Nara.
From then on, their lives became all about performing in small events and training.
We had one
Ooh, the blow
mentor
up
when we
mic.
were training. Tapos, more on personality development siya.
Oh yeah, that Korean girl.
Tapos, presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean-style training they went through
It's far, far from what they've been doing sa Korea.
was nothing but a mere marketing strategy.
But yung
Damn.
skill-wise, parang we were left on our own.
They were left alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge to improve each other with the hope of making the cut.
Oh, but
Some
sort of-
sources told me
sort
that
of
Pablo
HD.
had to record some of their vocal sessions to effectively coach his co-trainees. All of that without salary. This went on for roughly a couple of years. I
Couple
don't know
years.
about you guys, but this for
Steph
me
Curry.
sounded kind of brutal. It's
I think
not
that's
easy
Chuck's
to keep doing
favorite
the
player
same
right now.
thing over
Steph Curry.
and over again without any form of guidance. They were also kept in the dark about their debut date. So frustration started brewing until it reached the point when it only took one trigger to call it quits. On one seemingly normal training day, all trainees were already in the studio, except for Josh.
Oh,
On the same morning, the train
Jolly
broke
bit.
down.
Nasira yung MRT during that time. Nasira yung MRT.
Sinuspindi ang operasyon ng MRT dahil sa power outage.
It wasn't really an accident, but this would still worry anyone, especially the trainees, because it's highly unusual for Josh to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees felt relief because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way, right? Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
Na-late ako, tapos tinanggal ako.
because they missed the train.
That was the trigger.
Nung tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga grupo ko.
The
Nag-quit
trigger.
din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na kung tatanggalin mo si Josh,
Umalis kami sa grupo.
ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and passion tsaka dreams namin.
Show BT had two choices.
That's not
To
fair.
keep all trainees or to keep no trainees.
Ooh,
Damn.
The company chose the latter.
oh, damn.
Everyone left except for Stell.
Parang si Stell lang yung naiwan ko
Okay,
talaga
choose to stay. What the?
sa training room. Tapos talagang down na down lahat.
Si Stell natira kasi doon during that time.
Stell set aside all his frustration and remained focused on his goal, while Pablo was devastated.
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
In Josh's case, we can only imagine the pain he must have felt to have
Samaya.
been booted out of his dreams. Days passed, everyone still feeling down about that
The
incident.
jeepneys.
Then
go
Pablo's
crazy.
phone receives a message.
Brother, bumalik ka na, brother.
It was Josh.
Let's come back.
How
Out
does
of
he?
all the trainees, the guy that got sent packing was the same guy who actively convinced everyone to continue chasing their dreams. Perhaps this was the sheer guts and determination from his life experiences in full display.
Whoa, look at that
Pablo
footage.
hurried back to the studio to find Stell. Alone.
I'm impressed by the footage.
But not for long. Josh came back next and took the initiative to convince the company to have them back.
Pumunta lang po ako doon at syempre kung kailangan na
Wow.
magpakiusap.
So back to training, they went.
Hindi na naman magkahiwala ng grupo, pero bumalik sila kasi hindi nila kami.
Every time I hear this, it's just shocks
There was
me.
only 3 of them for a while. Then a few other trainees started coming back.
Justin
So
the Deals.
BT put together a talent workshop to get more talents to keep the business going.
Is that a what the?
This was batch 1. This was batch 2.
Justin the Deals.
Justin de Dios. He got scouted right away because he was a very good-looking guy and already was a decent singer and dancer. When he joined, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar. As do you.
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a dance cover group called Zero to Hero. So
this is
Justin
Scott
as well wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate. That group is nowhere to be found today. Justin obviously deserved better. He went on to finish his college degree
working
in
9 to 5.
multimedia arts while training, which earned him a filmmaking skill that would prove very crucial to their success in the future.
Very crucial.
With Justin on board, this completed their prototype boy group.
Paradox.
It's composed of Justin, Pablo, Stell, Josh, Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They did multiple test runs leading up to their entry to Pinoy K-pop Star 2017. They performed B-Day by Icon in an epic fashion,
Hey.
but they didn't win. At this point, Show BT seemed to have hit a roadblock. The group felt like something was missing. I don't exactly know what happened to Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They either quit or Show BT felt the need to let go of them and get someone who could take this already great
interesting.
group of guys and push
And
them
you know
to
who that
achieve the
someone is.
next level.
Absolutely.
The extraordinary level. This year's in the making project of Show BT needed to reach its peak. So they started the online auditions.
Really?
When Josh heard about it, he was
The
like,
heck, Josh?
I know a guy.
There we go. You already know this.
The guy
my
he was
bias right
talking
here.
about was a pain in his butt because their groups have clashed multiple times in their early dance competitions and their battles were always neck and neck. That guy's name was Philip John Suson.
Philip.
He was such a specimen. He was so
Specimen.
naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked
Yeah, he's
like
so
a
good at
walk in the
everything,
park
yeah.
for him. He grew up in the church under the care of his grandparents. He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school. Nobody taught him how to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later then fixed it as he learned more. He was also a gifted singer as a kid. Every time there was a family gathering, he was always forced to sing karaoke by his relatives. But when he hit puberty,
Filipino
he
thing.
lost confidence in his voice because he could no longer hit high notes. But his confidence came back after being mentored by Pablo, who taught him
really?
how to harness his unique low voice
yeah,
that
true.
seemingly sounds like it came from the underworld.
Facts. Facts.
When it comes to dance, he didn't know he could do it until he was forced to in order to get good grades during her school intramurals.
Hey.
After
Hey.
discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who
Hey.
could fly. Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to join the dance group called Amigo 7, a would-be rival of Josh and Stell's group, Seyon.
Amigo 7.
It quickly became a reverse if you can't beat them, then join them kind of deal.
The KDs of the world.
recruited Ken. But there was
Shout
a
out to
problem.
the Warriors
He was
footage.
hundreds of islands away and didn't have the money. What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else
he have
to
money?
lose,
Did Josh have
Philip
money?
went and left his previous
I thought
life
he
in the
was
countryside. He then trained with the
super
boys
cool.
and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to note is that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea.
True,
Justin
true.
didn't make it in his first audition, so he almost didn't try again until Josh told him to do so. And Ken wouldn't even have the opportunity to join if the Show BT trainees didn't come back after that quitting incident.
Man, it's just
That,
all
ladies and gentlemen,
fell
is the
together.
butterfly effect. When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential event sometime long after the initial event. Or as Google would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002
Cult
led
triple.
to forming the future P-pop Kings. In 2018,
Literally
SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the Philippines country code digits, 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19. If you subtract both numbers, you also get the same result. SB doesn't only mean show BT. It is also about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly represented by this phrase. Sound break.
Oh. Whoa. Was that it? No.
That was beautiful.
I was just getting into it. There
That's-
needs to be another one.
That was beautiful.
There needs to be another one. Oh, this
That
one.
was beautiful. Chuck, man. Chuck.
Was it 20 minutes? I was just getting into it.
You know, a documentary is good when time just passes by and it just
Yeah, it felt
it felt like 2 minutes because
Yes.
it was that good. I was so into it. Chuck, man, you did a good job on this one.
It was just getting good, and then it finished. So hopefully there's more episodes. Chuck, if you're watching this, you're gonna make a few more of these ones.
If you a first time reacting to SB19,
Yeah, this will be good.
You just want to go straight into this episode right here.
Yeah.
This tells you a lot about everything and straight to the point.
So he incorporated a lot of the previous stories all into this one video. So it's all compacted. So he used like footage and scenes from all the other videos.
And
so
some new ones as
So
well.
that was cool. That was cool. Yeah, we've been away for a little bit, but we're back. So comment down below what you want us to react to. We got another video here if you want to check it out. It's another SB19 video.
And we'll see you guys
Next
soon.